Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in every person's life when they must decide not merely to exist, but to live with purpose, with power, and with intention. That time is not tomorrow, it is today. There is no force more potent in shaping a person's destiny than the clear, unwavering focus of a definite purpose. A mind that knows exactly what it wants, moves with conviction, speaks with certainty, and acts with unshakable drive. It does not waver with the opinions of others. It does not get lost in the noise of the world. It advances calmly, steadily, and deliberately toward a vision that has been etched into the soul within. Most people drift. They move through life reacting, not directing. They chase shadows, switch paths, and wonder why fulfillment escapes them. They say they want success, but cannot define what success means to them. They desire wealth, but have no plan. They crave impact, but never pinpoint where or how they want to make it. This is the danger of a vague mind. It breeds inaction, confusion, and regret. Definitiveness of purpose begins when a man or woman sits down with themselves and answers the most difficult question life ever asks. What do I truly want? Not what others expect, not what the world says is impressive, but what sets the heart ablaze? What pulls louder than comfort or fear? The mind, once given a clear destination, becomes a magnet. It draws people, circumstances, and resources that align with its objective. Clarity breeds energy. When the aim is defined, every decision becomes simpler. Does it move me toward my purpose or away from it? The fog lifts. Distractions lose their appeal. Excuses lose their grip. Because when you know your why, the how begins to reveal itself. Definiteness of purpose is not just about goals, it is about identity. When you declare your purpose, you declare who you are and what you stand for. You are no longer one of the many, you become one of the few. The few who live life by design, not by default. The few who are willing to stake everything on a cause, a dream, a mission that burns within. It demands courage. The world loves the vague and ridicules the bold. People will try to bend you, distract you, convince you to play small. But the person with a definite purpose cannot be shaken. Their eyes stay on the prize. Their feet stay on the path. Setbacks do not define them. Your purpose becomes your compass. When storms come, and they will, it keeps you from drifting. When opportunities arrive, and they will, it helps you discern which are aligned and which are distractions dressed as detours. Purpose gives power to persistence. It turns obstacles into stepping stones, criticism into fuel, and time into an ally instead of an enemy. Definiteness of purpose also creates resilience. You begin to move with a sense of destiny, as if unseen forces are working with you, not against you, and perhaps they are. For the world steps aside for the one who knows exactly where they are going. Self-discipline is the master key that unlocks every door to greatness. It is the unseen hand that builds empires, shapes legends, and separates the ordinary from the exceptional. While talent may open a few doors and inspiration may ignite a spark, only discipline keeps the fire burning when motivation fades and the path grows hard. To master self-discipline is to gain control over the most powerful force in your life, yourself. The battle is not with the world, not with circumstances, not with so-called competition. It is within. The war is between your desires and your duties, between your lower nature and your higher calling, between what you feel like doing and what must be done. Discipline is the decision to act, not based on mood, but on mission. It is rising early when the body craves sleep. It is choosing focus when the world offers 1,000 distractions. It is saying no to indulgence and yes to structure again and again until your habits align with your purpose. In a world of shortcuts, discipline walks the long road. And that is where the true rewards live. There is no growth without resistance. Discipline embraces the resistance. It welcomes the repetition, the routine, the rigor, because it knows that in those small daily decisions, the ones no one sees or applauds, is where the foundation of greatness is laid. Every missed temptation, every completed task, every moment of discomfort faced and conquered builds a reservoir of strength that cannot be taken from you. The discipline does not wait for permission. It does not ask how you feel. It commands action. It is the silent agreement between your present and your future, between who you are and who you are becoming. And make no mistake, every act of self-discipline is a vote cast for the future you desire. Every compromise is a vote cast for the future you fear. It begins in the mind. You must see yourself not as a victim of emotion, but as a commander of choice. You do not negotiate with weakness. You override it. You do not hope for discipline. You cultivate it through consistency, through challenge, through deliberate effort. Even in the smallest things, the way you do anything becomes the way you do everything. Discipline builds confidence. When you keep promises to yourself, you no longer need validation. You know who you are. You trust yourself. You develop the rarest of powers, the ability to count on your own word. In a world of broken intentions and empty resolutions, that is a force few possess. Mastering self-discipline means choosing principles over impulses, long-term gain over short-term comfort, and internal strength over external ease. It means becoming the type of person who does not need to be pushed, reminded, or inspired because the drive comes from within. You become the thermostat, regardless of what surrounds you. A positive mental attitude is more than just thinking happy thoughts. It is the deliberate, disciplined practice of directing your mind toward power, possibility, and purpose, regardless of the conditions you face. It is the choice to hold dominion over your thoughts, to govern your emotions, and to respond to life not with complaint, but with conviction. Your mind is the command center of your life. Every decision, every action, every result begins first as a thought. The person who learns to master their mental environment, to plant seeds of strength and uproot weeds of doubt, has taken control of the most fertile and valuable ground they will ever possess. Thought precedes behavior, attitude precedes success, and a positive mental attitude is the atmosphere in which every other success principle can grow. There will always be reasons to feel defeated. Life will not ask if you're ready before it tests you, but while you cannot always control what happens to you, you can control how you interpret it. And that control is the difference between rising and remaining. A positive mental attitude refuses to dwell in the valley. It finds the lesson in loss. It sees opportunity where others see misfortune. It looks at setbacks not as signs to stop, but as signals to sharpen. It is not naive. It is not blind optimism. It does not ignore the facts. It chooses which facts to focus on. It acknowledges hardship, but it does not glorify suffering. It does not waste time in pity, for it understands that negative thinking compounds. A single doubt can become a belief. A single complaint can become a habit, and soon the mind that was designed for creation begins feeding on limitation. A positive mental attitude is armor. It is a shield against the poison of pessimism, criticism, and fear. It is the discipline of choosing gratitude over grumbling, solutions over problems, progress over perfection. And make no mistake, it is a choice. Not once, but every day, every hour, sometimes every minute, to guard the gates of the mind like a soldier on duty, to allow in only what builds, strengthens, and moves you forward. Greatness has no room for a negative spirit. The most powerful men and women in history were not immune to adversity. What set them apart was their response. They refused to believe in failure as final. They spoke life into their own future. They walked into storms with belief in their stride. This is the strength of a positive mental attitude. It changes how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you think, and how others perceive you. It influences your health, your relationships, your wealth, and your ability to lead. It determines whether your energy is magnetic or repelling, whether people are drawn to your vision or pulled away by your doubt. A positive mental attitude commands respect because it stands tall in trials, because it is grounded not in circumstance but in an unshakable inner resolve that says, no matter what happens, I will find a way. Taking personal responsibility is the foundation upon which all lasting success is built. It is the moment a person stops pointing fingers and starts looking inward. It is the quiet yet powerful decision to say, if it's going to be, it's up to me. Until that moment arrives, no amount of talent, strategy, or motivation will produce meaningful change. Responsibility is not about guilt, it is not about shame, it is about ownership. The power to direct one's life belongs only to the one who claims ownership of every choice, every action, and every outcome. It is easy to blame the economy, the system, your past, your upbringing, or other people. It is far harder, but infinitely more rewarding, to say, I am where I am because of what I've done or failed to do. The person who takes responsibility gains freedom. That may seem like a paradox, but it is truth. Blame enslaves. It hands over your control. When you blame, you are saying, I am at the mercy of something outside myself. But when you own your life, every corner of it, you take back the reins. You step out of the role of victim and into the role of creator. Every outcome in life is connected to a choice, and when you trace your circumstances back far enough, you will find the moment where a decision was made or avoided. Responsibility is about tracing the line, connecting the dots, and being brutally honest about your role in the story. It is not always comfortable, but comfort has never created greatness. To take responsibility is to ask better questions. Not, why did this happen to me? But what can I learn from this? Not who's to blame, but how could I have handled this differently? These questions shift the mind from victimhood to vision. They open doors where others see walls. They turn failure into feedback and pain into power. The most successful people do not escape responsibility. They embrace more of it. They volunteer to carry the weight. They make no excuses. If a task fails, they don't look for a scapegoat. They examine themselves. If they fall short, they do not shrink. They recalibrate. This mindset earns trust, builds character, and multiplies influence. Personal responsibility also demands that you stop waiting for someone to fix it, waiting for the perfect time, waiting for conditions to change. Those who succeed do not wait for the world to give them permission. They give it to themselves. They start where they are with what they have, and they move forward in faith and intention. It is not about perfection. It is about progress. You will make mistakes. You will fall. But responsibility says, get up, adjust, go again. It refuses to quit because quitting would mean surrendering control. And once you've tasted the power that comes from full ownership, nothing is worth going back to the old way of living, blaming, complaining, and hoping for rescue. Destiny is not written in moments of inspiration. It is written in the quiet repetition of daily habits. The future you desire is not determined by a single decision, but by the choices you make over and over again, long after the excitement has faded and the crowd has disappeared. Success is not sudden. It is subtle. It is built in the dark, in the quiet, in the hours when no one is watching. Every day you are training yourself. Every thought you entertain, every action you take, every word you speak is part of a system you are constructing. You are either strengthening discipline or feeding distraction. You are either moving closer to your vision or further from it. There is no neutral. There is no standing still. Your habits are either building you or breaking you. The person who understands this truth begins to guard their days with precision. They stop treating time like it is disposable. They stop filling their hours with aimless activity and start investing them with intention, because they know the compound effect is always working, for them or against them. A small act done daily may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time it shapes your identity, your results, and your life. Waking up early, reading daily, moving your body, planning your priorities, executing your task, reflecting on your progress, speaking with purpose, choosing your environment. These are not random acts. They are rituals. They are bricks in the structure of your future, and they are not glamorous. Habits are not supposed to entertain you. They are supposed to transform you. Your destiny is hidden in your routine. Show me what a person does every day, and I will show you where they are going. It does not matter what they claim to want. What matters is what they consistently do. Intentions may inspire, but only actions produce results. This is why the gap between desire and achievement is filled not with motivation, but with habit. Habits do not care about your feelings. They do not rely on how inspired you are or how much energy you have. Once formed, they operate with or without emotion. That is their power. The key is to make sure your habits are aligned with your highest goals, because what you repeat, you reinforce. What you reinforce, you become. Excellence is not an act, it is a habit. And so is mediocrity. Both are simply the result of what has been repeated often enough to become automatic. The only difference is the level of intention. One leads to greatness, the other leads to regret. Those who rise above average are not born different, they simply train themselves differently. They have built a rhythm into their lives that reflects who they want to be. They have learned that consistency is greater than intensity, that small things done daily are more powerful than big things done occasionally, that your calendar is a mirror of your values, that what you do each day is writing the story of who you are becoming. The people you choose to associate with are not just part of your life, they are shaping your mind, your momentum, and your future. No one rises in isolation. And no one stays stagnant when surrounded by those who are constantly stretching, reaching, learning, and growing. If you want to transform your life, begin by transforming your circle. Growth-minded people think differently. They speak differently. They respond to adversity with curiosity, not complaint. They talk about ideas, not people. They ask better questions, take full ownership, and chase excellence like it's oxygen. Being around them pulls something greater out of you, not because they demand it, but because their presence makes anything less feel foreign. You cannot stay small in the company of those who are committed to expansion. Your environment will either fuel your vision or suffocate it. Every conversation you engage in, every belief you absorb, every standard you witness is either sharpening your edge or dulling your drive. Most people stay average because they are surrounded by average expectations. They are applauded for minimal effort. They are warned against taking risks. They are made to feel guilty for wanting more. And slowly, without even realizing it, they begin to shrink. But get around people who expect more of themselves, and you will start expecting more from yourself. Watch how they operate, how they move with discipline, how they handle challenges with a calm resolve, how they refuse to settle, not out of arrogance, but out of a deep sense of purpose. That energy is contagious. It awakens something in you. It reminds you of who you were before fear crept in and comfort took hold. To associate with growth-minded people, you must become growth-minded yourself. You cannot attract what you secretly resist. You must raise your own standard. You must be willing to leave behind gossip, blame, and the false security of playing small. You must become the type of person others can grow with, someone who sharpens, not dulls, who lifts, not limits, who challenges, not coddles. Seek out mentors. Seek out friends who ask the hard questions. Seek out those who are building, creating, evolving. Engage in conversations that stretch your thinking. Surround yourself with those who value truth over comfort, discipline over ease, and long-term vision over short-term gain. Not only will your results change, your identity will begin to shift. You will start seeing yourself as someone capable, someone worthy, someone chosen for more. Growth-minded people are not perfect, but they are intentional. They don't pretend to know everything, but they are relentless in their pursuit of understanding. They don't fear failure, they respect it. They don't envy success, they study it. And when you walk with them long enough, their mindset becomes your mindset, their hunger becomes your hunger, and their elevation becomes the environment in which you rise. In the end, your life is shaped not by chance, but by choice. The 12 decisions you make today about your purpose, your discipline, your mindset, your habits, your relationships are the blueprint for the future you will live tomorrow. True transformation doesn't come through bursts of motivation, but through daily alignment with your highest self. Choose intentionally, act relentlessly, surround yourself wisely. These principles are not theories, they are tools. Use them, and you won't just improve your life, you will elevate it. The power has always been in your hands. The question is, will you finally claim it and rise?